In our lead this hour coming from the hangar. That is where the broken down jet is getting repaired. Repair is going to take about a year. Going to milk this Aaron Rodgers cow one more time. And oh, what a cow it is. So if you haven't been following because you actually have a life and you're not obsessed with this story, maybe you missed it, perhaps that's the case. So Aaron Rodgers, the man of the hour, has not only broken his Achilles, he's also broken his silence. After that Achilles tear in the Monday night game, just 4 plays in, he wrote on the Gram, he said that he is, quote, completely heartbroken, and he's going through all the emotions, a lot of emotions. He's verklempt is what he is. He's just a complete wreck. Now, before finishing his post, he thanked a bunch of people. He gave this quote, which we're going to consider the money quote. Some of you are telling me, see, this is proof that your take was wrong. Okay, calm down. Take a breath. So the quote that Rodgers used, he said at the end of his post, he said, that, quote, the night is darkest before the dawn, and I shall rise yet again. Close quote. Sounds like it's out of a superhero movie or some magical fictional tale, a storybook tale. So let us discuss. Now, I did get some email from people who were like, hey, you were wrong. See, Rodgers is back. He said, I shall rise yet again. So let's discuss the question. Aaron Rodgers saying he will rise again. Thumbs up or thumbs down on that, quote, guaranteeing that we will see Rodgers with the Jets in 2024. So I am going to go a firm thumbs down. A firm thumbs down. And I've got GPS coordinates, double-tongued, and nonverbal communication. And we will tie all of these things together, and we are going to make movie theater popcorn, buttered movie theater popcorn that tastes amazing, and then your gut will feel it for the next 3 days. So, all right, there's no way possible to make a 100% prediction on this, but based on a minutes-long investigation of the verbiage in a social media post, that's what we're doing these days, don't kid yourself. Now, Aaron Rodgers can say that he's planning on coming back in 2024, and maybe that's the case. He can work at it, but there's a lot of moving parts to this story. Right, there's a lot of variables to this story. If you check the GPS coordinates, the trip calls for a long and winding road. And if you look at the long-range forecast, it's going to be foggy, but not just any kind of fog, London fog. Why? Because you've got the Jets are going to be either average or terrible. I don't see a scenario where they're good. So if the Jets are bad, and they're really bad, and they have a shot to get one of the top quarterbacks, likely not bad enough to be the number one pick because they just beat the Bills in the Monday night game, but they could lose a bunch of games and just snowball to hell, and then you've got Caleb Williams or Drake May. Caleb Williams could manipulate the draft to try to play for the Jets. Nobody's ever done that before. And then you got Drake May from North Carolina, who the NFL scouts are supposed to be all horny for. And then there's the other scenario where New York finds a diamond in the rough, not Zach Wilson, but somebody else, and they go on a magic carpet ride a la Nick Foles a few years ago with the Eagles or Kurt Warner a long time ago with the old St. Louis Rams. So the other factor here, the other variable, is how does Aaron Rodgers' rehab go? When you're closing in on the big 4-0, the body takes longer to heal. There can also be complications. Now, I would argue the main motivation to come back for Rodgers is the golden parachute. Rodgers agreed to a restructured contract with the Jets before the season. Got a lot of attention. He was celebrated for giving money back. He got $75 million fully guaranteed. But if you retire, usually what happens in the NFL is like an injury settlement if you retire because of injury. And if Rodgers were to retire, the Jets could say, well, you didn't really play for us and you were injured. That's why you're retiring. And so then we're going to give you less than that. But that includes the salary, the signing bonus for this year and next year, $75 million. So again, if he retires, things change. We know he's already rich. I saw the tabloids were doing a big thing. He bought a house in Jersey, and Rodgers was having a construction crew build a massive wall, like the Berlin Wall, around his home so none of the great unwashed will come near him. Stay away. Big, giant wall. I don't know that he bought any tanks. I'm not sure if there's a moat, but a big old wall, building a massive wall and a gate and all that. Now, page 2. Staying with the theme with Gang Green, you've got Jets coach Robert Saleh, who hinted at adding a veteran quarterback to the roster following Rodgers' injury the other day. We talked about it in a previous episode of the show. However, following up on that train of thought while speaking to reporters, it doesn't sound now like anything's going to happen today or tomorrow, if you believe what the Jets coach said. He implied the Jets are in no rush because, this is great, he probably turned the mic off and went outside to laugh after he said this, but he said, because we have Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle. Yeah. It's like having two boils on your tuchus. Wonderful. Now, Saleh gave us the money quote. He said, it's not Madden in the sense that we can just plug and play anybody. There's a lot of meetings, a lot of practices, a lot of nuance. A lot. He liked using the word a lot, those words. A lot of understanding of why things are the way they are that go into it. Yes, I know. It's like learning Pig Latin, unless it's not. So he said, just plugging and playing a quarterback, it's going to take time. Whoever comes in the bill. So how do you dissect Robert Saleh, that comment about the Jets search not being like Madden? Not being like Madden. So it is double-tongued. It is contradictory. It really is. It's talking out of both sides of your mouth. Here's why. If it takes a long time to get up to speed as a new quarterback, shouldn't you then rush to sign or trade for a quarterback so they can learn the immense playbook of Robert Saleh? And he's also wrong. We have seen plug-and-play examples, and some of them have worked out. Baker Mayfield last season, he came over to the Rams. He suited up 48 hours, the first 48 after a waiver wire pickup from the Carolina Panthers. Now, he didn't play well, but he did have the game-winning drive against the Raiders in that Ram-Raider game last season. Now, the last word here. Let's go to Miami. And we have a soundbite we're going to play here in a sec, but it's sunshine, palm trees, and bikinis. So the Dolphins, I don't know if you know this, they're kind of a big deal. They won a track meet with the team that used to be in San Diego, now in L.A., the Chargers. A big high-scoring game. I was at the game. It was a great game. If you like offense, it was wonderful. And back and forth. It was a lot of offense. So Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa was asked if people still think he can't throw the deep ball. What did he say? Well, we have the audio tape. His answer was short and sweet. And here's Tua. Let's go to that audio tape.
Do you think that anyone is still saying you can't throw deep?
I don't care. I mean, I don't care. 466 is, that's what 466 is if I can't throw deep. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tua. Good job. All right, can you make sense of what you just heard there? Can you make sense of Tua Tagovailoa's response to the question about throwing deep? So on one hand, it was obviously a leading question, right? That's some Miami Dolphin fanboy in the media. It was like, oh, I'll get a good soundbite out of Tua. I'm going to ask him this question, and he'll give me a great answer. Now, on the other hand, I noticed, and there's some nuance to this that since we're only on an audio platform, you might not get, but Tua was not being honest in his answer. It really does bother him. It drives him nuts that people still say he can't throw the deep ball. It really annoys him. And here's my evidence. It's nonverbal communication, the body language, which we have said for years, analyzing comments by coaches and athletes, is almost always a dead giveaway. Now, in this particular clip, again, you can't see it because either you're blind or you're just listening to the radio, but Tua's eyes were going side to side. If you look at that old FBI handbook to spot a liar, people's eyes usually dart back and forth when they feel uncomfortable because what they're saying is not fully truthful. Now, the other sign here, which is a big one, probably even bigger than the eyes, was Tagovailoa was fidgeting with his right hand. Now, that soundbite that we played was 12 seconds. And if we play it again here, you'll hear him smacking the table a couple of times. He actually smacked the podium 7 times in 12 seconds. In fact, can we play this again? Let's play it again, Iowa Sam. Here is the 12-second clip of Tua. And you can kind of hear, if you listen closely here, crank up the audio a little bit, you can hear Tua smacking the dais as he was talking.
You think that anyone is still saying you can't throw deep?
I don't care. I don't care. 466 is that's what 466 is if I can't throw deep. Thanks.
All right. Now, you can only hear it a couple times, but he slapped that thing 7 times. He slapped it 7 times in 12 seconds. The prosecution rests, Your Honor. I've made my case. All right, here's the Ben Maller Show.